I'm Corbett Wall with DVAuction, here with your feeder flash for Thursday, January the 18th, brought to you in part by the Witex Corporation. Established in 1967, they provide excellence in animal health, including but not limited to all-American ID tags for all classes of livestock. For more information, go to y-tex.com. Supply and demand laws work on the beef market, not so much on the cattle. Now we've seen our slaughter has been extremely limited here due to the harsh weather here ever since we come out of the holidays, and those slower change speeds and limited time that they've been able to slaughter livestock and having to shut down several shifts. It's really backed off your slaughter. And we've seen the box beef cutout values respond in a positive way, big time. In fact, your box beef cutouts are about 25 bucks higher than they were just about 2 weeks ago at the week ending January the 5th. And we saw your market go down big right after the holidays or right up against the holidays when it was too late to get that product out to the customers, because we see such a big demand for holiday beef, for Christmas parties and things like that. So it went down, and we were thinking we were going to be in the doldrums on cutout demand here going forward, which is usually the case early in the year. But with the slowdown in the slaughter, we've seen that bounce back in a big way in a rally that the packers have not been able to get going here for the last several months. But it's just amazing how pure that supply and demand law works on the beef. Whenever they cut the amount of beef that's available down, there's short supplies, demand goes up, prices go up. Not so much on the cattle. We've been in really tight supplies of cattle here for quite a while, and not to say that the cattle market's not good, but you know, it doesn't respond quite as pure and natural as what we see with our beef. We wish that we could get that to happen on a more regular basis. Coming to you a little bit earlier than usual, I'm actually coming to you from Yakima, Washington. Going to be going down to Toppenish Livestock Commission and giving a talk on Wednesday night to the Yakima Cattlemen's group there. Looking forward to that. Looking forward to shaking hands with people that I've talked to on the phone but never actually met. So should be a pretty good time. Saw some other news that's happened a little while back, but it's really getting promoted here, is the fact that Italy, and a lot of times we look at the European Union and we think, oh my gosh, you know, they're more woke and more liberal than we are here in the United States on our coasts. But we saw something that Italy has done that I wish we could get done here in the United States. Italy has banned the production and sale of lab-grown meat. They've done this in the government's efforts to defend the country's traditional culinary culture. I would say we have a culinary culture here in this country of beef and barbecue and having real beef there. But the law also in Italy bans the use of words like steak and salami on their plant-based products too, on that fake meat. Wish we could get that going too and get it the heck away from our meat, because people can get fooled by that, and it's not nearly as healthy, so they can't hang their hat on that. And you know, they're just playing on words and playing on kind of a narrative that some people are putting out, saying that that cattle you know, ruin the global warming, or they cause global warming, and they're ruining the planet, which those of us that normally watch this program and most everybody else knows is a bunch of crap. But I wish we could get that done, and wish that we could get some of our politicians to push something like that here in the United States. Cattle on Feed reports coming out here on Friday, and you think, God, we just got done with one of those. I know, but we've been in such a slowdown. Time's gone by, and we're getting ready for another one. It appears to be bullish with the estimates, but it kind of scares me every time we get a bullish estimate. A lot of times it turns out to be bearish when it finally comes out. But January 1st on-feed inventories are pegged to be 102.2% of a year ago, which you're thinking, God, there's still more cattle on feed. Well, yeah, they're on feed. Haven't been able to slaughter them. So cattle are still on feed. Placements 95.5%, which seems probably about right, but the marketings, as bad as they were last month on the cattle on feed report, they've got the marketings at 99.3% on these really creeping slow change speeds that we've seen. I don't know, that sounds a little bit high to me, and I'm not doing a checking into it real technically there, but just on the surface, that 99.3% of a year ago sounds pretty high. But we'll see what happens on Friday when the cattle on feed report comes out at 2 o'clock Central. Talk about your board on Wednesday. February live cattle futures down 2 cents. Of course, they're getting right up close to the edge at 173.10 without any negotiated trade at all to really try to weigh that against. So we don't know what's going to happen there. April up 45 cents at 175.62. Your back months were all higher from 15 cents to 62 cents. January feeder cattle up 87 cents, and we're still seeing a good rally with the storm on your feeder cattle, which normally we see that on fat cattle, and they have been higher, so we can't complain that the storm hasn't brought about some bullishness. But January feeder cattle up 87 at 228.42. March up 95 cents at 229.75. Back months on feeder cattle all up healthy, 65 cents higher to up 97. March corn futures on Chicago Board of Trade down 1 1/4 cents a bushel at 442 1/4. March beans down 21 1/2 at 1205 3/4. Kansas City hard red winter wheat for March down 7 1/2 cents a bushel at 594. Still no fat cattle trade at all on a direct basis out of your 5-area feeding region. And to tell you the truth, I can't get a feel whether it's going to be higher or lower. The cattle that have been on the show list here for the last 3 weeks during the storm probably weigh 100 pounds at least less than they did when they put them on there. Are these feedlots going to be anxious to sell and dump them at whatever they get bid, or are they going to hang on to them, try to put some more weight on them, and try to get this market up? We don't know. Has been a couple of brick and mortar cattle auctions that still sell fat cattle in the northern plains there, and it didn't give it to you on the last visit, but I did get the report out of Stockman's livestock market in Yankton, South Dakota. Had about 1,200 fat cattle on Tuesday. The conventional fat cattle were steady to $3 higher, from 169 to 180 in the ring there. The program cattle, non-implanted or drug-free, sell from 172 to 183 1/4, and that sounds like a pretty good fat cattle market there. I wish we had more fat cattle auctions for producers up there, especially your farmer feeders, to sell at, and we could get some price discovery from. Sioux Falls Regional Livestock in Worthing, South Dakota had a lighter run on Wednesday, less than 500 head of fat cattle. Market was kind of uneven, but not too bad for a light run there. Conventional cattle bring from 169 to 173. Had some program cattle, and these are in smaller lots than what we'd seen at Yankton, but the program cattle sell from 170 to 173. Box beef cutout values, we talked about them. They were higher again. Choice cuts on Wednesday afternoon up 346 at 298.45, getting close to that $3. And select cuts up 304 at 283.02. Your slaughter trying to catch up a little bit, but still running behind. Up through the first 3 days of this week, 341,000 head of cattle harvested. That's 37,000 more than the same point last week when we had all the blizzards closing your plants down, but still 34,000 less than the same week a year ago. Talk about what else is going on. Your punchy pick of the month contest, we were having fun with that. Still going on, guys. You get a punchy pick out there doing chores or working cattle or whatever you're doing in your everyday life, snap a picture of it on your phone and send it to punchy at NationalBeefWire.com. That automatically enters you to win the grand prize if you're picked in the last day of every month. You get a lot of really cool merch from Beaver Feed in Beaver, Oklahoma, Beaver County Stockyards in Beaver, Oklahoma, and of course the whole case of Therapies, that revolutionary product that you just put on the cattle's nose and poll there, and it calms them down, takes their anxiety away, gets them to eating and drinking, and makes their other drugs work better. And people are just having a lot of luck with Therapies, guys. Check out this video, if I can remember to stick it on the end of this report at the conclusion of this feeder flash. Talk about your feeder cattle markets, your real-time index on DVAuction in the afternoon, late in the afternoon on Wednesday, sitting at 230.69, up 377, with a premium sale in Bassett, Nebraska in there, and not a whole lot of others. CME cash feeder cattle index is always running behind. It'll catch back up once they get Bassett's numbers in there, but latest available on the CME was 225.87. Don't forget, it's the 18th of January here, and Lynn's Heritage Angus is having their big sale out of Byers, Oklahoma. 1 o'clock Central, guys. Check that out. Free delivery. Got a buyback program. Be a really, really nice sale to check out. Also, Elite Livestock Sales. The guys from Montgomery Stockyards in Montgomery, Alabama, selling online now. They've got a good sale coming up at 3 o'clock Central on DVAuction. Got 20 loads of feeders on there. You'll like the quality, you'll like the health on those cattle. Check out your sales that happened on Wednesday. Did not have a sale at OKC West in El Reno, so we'll have to wait till next week to see what they do. Winter Livestock in Dodge City had light receipts, only 1,000 head, and really hard to get a trend there or any big quotes from them too much. But your NationalBeefWire stick-out sale of the day was Bassett Livestock Auction, Bassett, Nebraska, now offering DVAuction broadcast and bidding there. 3,500 head in Bassett. It was hard to get a really good comparison, but the market reporter did say that the 7-weight feeder steers were sharply higher than the last test that they had on them. Check out this automated market report through Cattle Market Central. You see 530 head of 5-weight steers in Bassett, average 570 pounds, with a weighted average price of $302.60. 1,029 head of 6-weight steers, average $655 at $278.36. 1,038 head of 7-weight steers, and these are the ones that were really higher. They averaged $741 with a weighted average price of $251.28. Wow. How about 211 head of 8-weight steers at Bassett, Nebraska, averaged 8 1/4 at $235.65. Couple of weight groups of heifers there. 214 head of 6-weight heifers, averaged $652 at $247.79. And 239 head of 7-weight heifers, averaged $729 at $230.31. Give you a few individual quotes from around Wright County Livestock in Mountain Grove, Missouri. DVAuction broadcaster there. They had a special sale. They even had the world champion livestock auctioneer, my buddy Jacob Massey, there to sell as kind of a draw. Had a nice sale, including 89 steers, weighed 603 at $276 in south central Missouri, guys. An individual quote from Bassett Livestock Auction in Bassett, Nebraska was 60 steers, weighed 809 at $241.75. Very impressive there. But the most impressive quote that I saw anywhere on Wednesday in your Macrocin No BS top quote for the day, come out of Torrington Livestock Markets in Torrington, Wyoming, was 57 steers, weighed 615 and bring 294.50. And that's your feeder flash for Thursday.
My name is Jeff Slatton with the Beaver County Stockyards. We run a large number of yearlings. This fall, Rodrigo with Therapies came to me and wanted me to try this product. Since then, our medicine bills went to nothing. This is not an antibiotic. It makes your cattle keep hydrated. It makes your antibiotics and your drugs work like they should. I feed quite a large amount of cattle, and I'm sending them to the feed yards, and every feed yard likes it now. We went from doctoring 40% of them last November to almost nothing. We're not having any bad eyes or foot rotters. It's eliminated tons of our problems. I would not buy a set of calves without using this. I think this has made me more money than any antibiotic or drug that I've ever used. This is not a paid advertisement. This is good stuff. If you want to make some money, buy you some little calves, use this Fair Peas and save a lot. I don't know what else to say, but it's the best product I've ever used.